What's up, guys? It's your boy King David. I'm back at it with another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about the reasons why things change around you once you change yourself, right, guys? I'll turn this music off real quick. So, basically, when you start to change yourself, right, whatever you do, that's like positive. You start to, let's say, you start to do something that you know is better for yourself, right? The whole idea behind doing that is your vibration is going to change. Like, I talk a lot about like spiritual stuff. I talk about fitness. I talk about retention. I talk about a couple of different things too on my channel. But we're gonna get into the reasons why the world changes around you instead of like you changing for the world, guys. So you got to work on yourself first, right, guys? It's about working on yourself. Self-improvement is what a lot of people will say, right? Internal battles are the hardest battles that we'll have to go through in our life. Me, I've smoked. I used to smoke Black and Milds. I probably even made a couple videos where I was talking about smoking Black and Milds, guys. I used to drink. I used to smoke weed. You know what I mean? I still watch some content here and there, guys, but I'm even transcending that, so... Here's the thing, guys. It all happens in its time. And if you have the real desire to stop the very thing, it's like it's not about rushing it. A lot of people want to rush into stopping whatever they're doing. They go, okay, I just want to like end it now, A lot of things happen in phases in life, guys. You go through a phase of doing something, and then you put it down. And usually, I'm talking about just bad things, right, guys? It happens in a phase. Now, if you start something and you like it, it's harder for you to put down. So the phase might be longer before you come to a realization that, like, this isn't so good for me. And then you end up stopping it, right? Some people never get out of that cycle. Some people stay with it for the rest of their lives, and then when they go to the next life, they still have that same cycle until they eventually break it. That's just how it works, guys. So what happens is the vices, right, guys? Like, it's not even necessarily a vice. Say if like you just do it habitually, right? You do it when you get home, or you do it when you're hanging out with your friends, or you do it because you feel like it helps you in some kind of way. It may actually help you. Like my last video I made was talking about marijuana. Like, it may actually help you guys. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that whatever you're doing is like necessarily bad, guys. It's about moderation. I used to say moderation all the time. If you're going to do something, do it in moderation. Like, that's really the key point here. A lot of people will say like, well, it depends on tolerance and stuff, and depends on how much you can take in, and depends on, yeah, it does. But it also depends on it also takes that willpower to stop the very thing that you're doing, right? It takes willpower, and it takes the grace of God, guys, because you have to want to stop doing the very thing as well at some point, right? There's been times I used to smoke weed, and I would smoke too much weed when I'm with people, and I'd end up throwing up, guys. I smoked too much to the point where I went past that threshold of feeling comfortable while high. Why would I do that? Because you're around a couple people and you just want to get high, right? And then that's what happens is like you start to smoke a lot of marijuana and then you don't stop, right, guys? Eventually you come to a realization that like, okay, why didn't I stop? If I had stopped prior to that, and it might be because like you feel not even a peer pressure, but you just feel like you want to be a part of the group, so you end up keep smoking like how they're smoking. Not like I said before, not everybody has the same tolerance, guys. So you're smoking because they're smoking. You like to smoke already to begin with, but you have to know your cutoff limit, right? Everybody has a cutoff limit. With drinking, with smoking, with watching content, guys. You got to find that you have to find that cutoff limit, because if you don't find a cutoff limit, guys, in life, you're going to become either addicted to the very thing, which becomes harder for you to break free from it, or you're going to have it habitually for the rest of your life, guys. And there might be times you might go over your limit, right? And it's easy to do that. It's easy to do it by yourself. It's easy to do it when you're with your friends and stuff like that. It's easy to do that because of the feeling, because maybe whatever the situation might be, Now, I'm not a guy who's like, here's the thing, guys. I talk about not doing those things because I don't do them right now, and I don't really have the urge to do them. When I used to smoke Black and Milds, at first I didn't have the urge to do it, and then eventually I started to smoke them for a little while, and then I stopped smoking them. Like I said, it's a phase, guys. When you stop whatever you do and you stop doing it, you'll start to notice in the beginning it's a bit hard to break free from it if you really like enjoyed it. Me, I never had an enjoyment with anything that I had done, right, guys? There's moments like with everything in life, but there's moments when you're doing it and you just don't feel like good doing it, right? There's moments when it feels really good. There's moments when you don't really, you just ain't feeling it no more. And when you ain't feeling it like that, guys, especially if you're like, okay, this is too much, I did too much or whatever, you went over your limit, that's when you know like you got to break free from that very thing. Breaking free is like a two-step process, right, guys? Some people need to go even further. We're not going to get into all that. But breaking free from the very thing is, one, you have to believe in yourself, that you can do it. You can push through it. Because you can. It does take willpower. It does take to resist it. Like, I'm going to talk about the content because, like, that's what I'm battling right now, guys. I'm not going to talk about, smoking, drinking, or any of that other stuff, or, yeah, that's basically what I was going to say. Breaking free from it, right? So you want to break free from the content, right? A lot of guys want to break free from the content. Understand is you got to like be very patient with some things, because some things are deeply embedded into you. Some things you've been doing for years. Some things you've been doing for majority of your life, guys. Like you were introduced to it at a younger age, and maybe you didn't know what it was. Maybe you didn't release to it at the time, but like that is an imprint in your brain that is like deep, guys. And to remove some of these things, it's going to take years. It's not going to take like, okay, a couple months, like I just retained for like a couple months and now I'm just like free from lust, free from, thinking about like women all the time. If I get with a girl, I'm just not going to release anymore, guys. Like that's not how it works. It happens in stages. It happens like you subtly, I don't even know if that's a word. Like it happens subtle, right? it starts off okay. Yeah, I'm still watching the stuff. I'm still releasing with the girl. No, you're not. You're not with your girl anymore, right? That's kind of like the first step. Usually, guys they'll end up not being with a female that they were with in the past, right? Okay, the girl goes away. Now you just have your content. You're like, oh well. You watch that for some time. You may even watch it for a year, guys. Like, let's be honest. Like, you might still be watching it, but you're still battling, like, to not watch it, right? So a year passes. You've still been battling. You had a couple good streaks. Don't beat yourself up, man. Everything takes time and everything takes the grace of God. So you have to understand it's not about rushing into it. It's not about trying to get to a 90 or 100 days or 300 days or 5,000 days or however many days you feel like you need to accomplish before you're able to break free from the habit, guys. Like it's all about just being, understanding that, like, hey, man, I made it 3 days. Maybe I made it a week. Maybe I made it a day. If I made it just a day without watching it all day, that's an accomplishment, guys. You gotta give yourself, a pat on the back a little bit for the small accomplishments too, because that's what's going to build up that momentum to where you're able to be completely free from it. And the reason why you want to be completely free from it, because you think a different way. Like what I was saying, like changing your internal, guys, is going to change your external. It's going to change what's around you. So the more you break free from that, I feel like the first thing you got to do in life, if you want to be better at whatever you do in life, you have to put down a lot of things. Like you have to make sacrifices. Like it's the discipline, right, guys? But it's more than discipline. You got to put down those things. Maybe not forever, guys. Like it's not about breaking free from all of it at once. It's about just taking your time with it. Maybe I'll stop this for a couple days. Maybe I'll stop that for a week. Maybe I'll stop this. You know what I mean? Be graceful with yourself and understand that every time you break free from some of these things, how did you feel when you didn't have them? Could you handle it? Could you have gone longer without it? Did it feel like you could have gone longer without it? Does it feel like you really need it? You know what I mean? Like these are the kind of questions you should be asking yourself when you're trying to break free from these things. But if you break free from all of it, right, guys? Like you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't release, guys. You don't watch content. I mean, of course, like being with women is important, guys. But like you're not really like in search of a woman. You're not in search for like being with a woman. Like a woman will come into your life when when she's supposed to come into your life. Like you're just moving through life on your own accordance. Like that's how like you're supposed to live your life. A lot of people get caught up in this like idea of like I need this or I need that to make me whole. That is not how it works, guys. You have to be whole within before everything else around you happens. So you gotta like be right within first, and then externally everything starts to maneuver and change around you. Molecules begin to change around. It literally gets to that deep, guys. Molecules start to change around you. Have you ever noticed, guys, like if you're like on your stuff, right, you're doing the right things. Have you ever noticed that just random things will happen? You'll be doing everything right, and then out of nowhere, like something good happens to you. You're doing good. You're taking care of stuff. You're moving in the right accordance. You're like guided almost in a way. You're not like messing anything up, right? Like it just feels like you're in a flow. They say the flow state, right, guys? So with that, when that happens, usually you get like a gift in real life, right? Somebody's like, oh, I'll pay for your stuff. You're like in line, you're about to buy like a Starbucks coffee. Man, I don't really drink Starbucks, but yeah, you're in line, you're about to buy a Starbucks coffee, and the girl behind you or lady behind you, she might be young, she might actually be cute too. Who knows, right? She'll buy you a drink. She might buy your drink for you. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, hey, thank you for that. You know, things like that happen to you often. And the more you stay consistent on what you're doing, now it's not going to always happen, guys. The more you stay into that momentum and that movement, the easier it becomes. But you also have to understand, too, is that momentum, don't get too attached. Because getting attached to the momentum is the hardest part of the journey. I like to say it's a journey, guys. Like, it's not about getting attached to it, because if you get attached to, oh, I'm up, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I got things happening for me, I got people, you know, praising me almost in a way, right? Like, that's cool. Appreciate it, enjoy it. You know what I mean? Soak it in like some sun, right? Always remember to stay humble. You know what I mean? And realize that there's going to be those low days too. You know what I mean? And sometimes, like, because everything that's given to you, guys, everything that was given to you, and all these materialistic things, and what you have, and the things that you believe that you have just in the grasp of your hands, and you can always have it, is not always certain. It's not certain. These things are not certain. They're not certain because we believe they're certain. God is what gave them to you. You know what I mean? You start messing up, okay? You're on this momentum, but then something throws you off your path and you start doing bad things, right? Sometimes that happens. This is all what's supposed to happen. This is the plan. Like, guys, God has already wrote the chapter of your book, and he's playing you out like a video game character, guys. Like, that's really what's happening. But in reality, you have to understand that embrace those times too. Embrace when things get going bad too. A lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people want to just stay on this constant, like, steady incline. The steady incline is nice. You know what I mean? You got to embrace the bad things too. You got to embrace the hard hits that you're going to get through life, because sometimes those things is where you learn the most from. You learn the most from when you're down low and when you ain't got nothing and people don't really, like, care about you anymore. You learn more about, like, people's true intentions on if they really care about you or not too, on top of that. So you got to understand that the lows are going to be, the lower the low, the higher you're going to get on the next level. That's usually how it goes. So if you're in a low, in a bad situation, you're like, man, how am I going to make it out of this? And you're praying to God, but you were praying to God even when you're at the high level. It's like you're going to be even in a better spot than you were, because that's how God, like, he always gives you more. Like, he gives you more through making it through those hard times. He gives you that ability. If it wasn't for the roughness, you know what I mean? The times when you were looking dusty and wearing a white t-shirt every day, and you know what I mean, and wearing some sweatpants and looking just scruffy, looking like you ain't got nothing going on in your life. You know what I mean? It's like those are the times you have to embrace, honestly. And some of those times may be the best times in your life, because, like, you realize being like that, it sucks. I will admit it sucks. But at the same time, those are the best moments, because what happens after that is the best moment, right? The incline, you get broken down, you get hurt, you get maybe even an injury or something. You're working out hard, you injure yourself, now you're in bed laid up. Oh man, life's bad, you know. The bounce back is always better than the bounce back's always going to be the best, guys. It's like, that's just how life is, you know. And you have to realize, if you make it through that rough time in life, that makes you stronger. God wants to make you stronger. God makes you go through these these battles, like you put, like I always like to look at it like you put into a forge your sword, right? You got to be put into the flames, and you got to be molded, and then you got to be cooled down by the water, and then you go back onto the brick or whatever, the iron, and he hammers you out to straighten the blade. And then you go back into the fire, you know what I mean? It's like that's like life, right? It's a consistent battle until eventually it gets easier. I think the battles get easier because you can kind of figure what's coming next. You know what I mean? But they just get more complex a lot of the times, especially as you level up more and more and more and more. So life is a beautiful thing, guys. And I know I'm rambling. I'm talking about a bunch of different things. I kind of forgot what the topic was and just kind of went into my own like flow state here, guys. But I mean, reality is it's like that, man. And you have to understand that. I'm trying to remember what the topic was about, but yeah, guys, I've been making a lot of long videos. I feel like I've been doing the momentum, right? I feel like I've been doing a lot of like good videos recently. But remember just momentum, guys, and staying on momentum. Because the momentum is also good to be doing momentum even on the low times, right? Because you're still in momentum. People think you lose the momentum when you lose like whatever you were doing. You're still in a momentum. The momentum is just slowed down. If you still have that same task and that same goal, and you're still striving towards it, and you're still like doing not necessarily doing everything that you need to be doing towards it, just realize that like maybe there's some things you have to sacrifice first before you can achieve it. And that sacrifice is usually people, places, and things. You have to make those sacrifices in order to gain whatever you're, going after or chasing after in life, guys. And when you do that, you have to stick with it long enough until you get what you desire. Because if you desire it, God will give it to you, no matter what it is. Like if you really desire, maybe you want to be like say if I wanted to be a professional skateboarder, right? If I wanted to be a professional skateboarder, I've been skateboarding like majority of my life, guys. Like I've been skating since like I was I don't know, like junior high, probably. It's been a while. I've been skating mostly high school though. High school is when I really started to get more into skating. But yeah, I've been skating a lot of my life, guys. And now I'm not like pro level status, right? But when you think about it realistically, it's not just about doing the tricks, obviously. It's about studying it. It's about learning what to do. It's about warm-ups, right? Now, given that I'm a little bit older, obviously, guys, but could I still go pro? Probably. If it was willed, it'll happen. If there's a way, there's a will, right, guys? Now, even if I was like 50, right? You could be 50 years old and you could probably still go pro skater. It really depends on how much you want it, and God will give that to you. Some things, obviously, it just ain't gonna happen in this lifetime. Like some things you gotta realize you gotta snip it in the butt, because it's like like if you are 50 and you've never skateboarded in your life, man, come on, guys. Like let's be real. Like that probably won't happen. But let's say if you have 10 years of skating behind your belt, right? Like me, right? I've been skating most of my life and I wanted to become a professional skateboarder, right? What would I have to necessarily do to achieve that? I would have to start watching skate videos. I would have to start skating, maybe not every day, but just have like a regimen of where I am skating. You know what I mean? Majority of the day, and then understand that there's going to be injuries involved, understand that I'm going to probably fall, and understand that I need to film more. You know what I mean? Understand that I need to be around other people who are better than me at skating, who can teach me how to skate better, maybe even, and who are also motivational. Like, there's so many different steps to whatever you're trying to achieve in life. And I feel like that momentum is what I was talking about, guys, is when you start to retain, like, I'm going to switch it over to retention, guys. When you start to retain, you know what you're supposed to be doing. Like, you're always doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is kind of like ironic. Not ironic, but it's kind of like weird to think of it that way. But like, when I say when you're always doing what you're supposed to be doing, is like you're here in this moment right now, and what you're doing in this moment, like me sitting in this chair talking to you guys, is what I'm supposed to be doing. That's kind of strange to say that, right? But at the same time, it's like, that's where God wants you to be. You know what I mean? It's not because he wants you to be like across the world in Japan, drifting cars around. You know what I mean? Like, no. He wants you to be right here in this moment, preaching this message, right? So that's what I mean by, like, God wants you exactly where you are. So what happens is, for you to get a lot of your downloads and light codes in life, a lot of times you got to go within. You know what I mean? So when you retain, that just builds up your connection. Builds up your connection to God. That's why a lot of, like, monks and priests and stuff like that, they do retention. And some of them do it forcefully. You're not supposed to do it forcefully. You're supposed to do it when it's time to do it. You know what I mean? Everything is like that. When it's time, it's time. Everything has its timing, right, guys? So, basically, yeah, when you let go of the content, guys, like I'm saying, like that, it's like when I finally break free completely from the content, you get a different insight on things that you couldn't have seen before, because you're able to, you're letting go of something. It's hard to see. I like to picture it like you're in a boat, right? And the waters are all cloudy. It's hard to see through those clouds. It's hard to see through that fog, right, guys? But once you pass the fog, then you see, like, the clear side. And then when you look back, it's still foggy. But you're like, how did I, like, get through that without really seeing my way? You know what I mean? That's like the same thing with, like, retention. Once you begin to retain, then you start to see things in a different light, because at first you're like, I don't know about this. Am I going to make it through the fog? And then once you made it through the fog, guys, it's like, that's when you realize there was better, there was more, there was something deeper to this that I didn't understand before. You know what I mean? And the more you do it, the more you, like, praise yourself, even for the small wins, guys. That's when you start to realize, like, where you're supposed to be. And what I was trying to get at here is, you'll be guided by God, because that's your antenna. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be retaining, and it allows you a stronger connection with him. And it's okay if you release. Like, a lot of guys think, like, you're supposed to be just full on, like, I'm never going to release, I'm never going to do this. It's like, dude, be realistic with your stuff. Like, you got to take time with it. Some things may take you your whole life. It might take you until you're like 80 years old. You've been saying, I'm gonna make it a 200 days retention. It's like, okay, sure. You know what I mean? That might be your goal. Like, that might be what God wanted you. I mean, obviously it is, but I'm just saying, like, if you're that dedicated, I mean, by then you probably would have transcended it, guys. You, depending on when you started, right? You started, like, when you're like 30 or something. It probably won't take you 50 years to, like, fully break free from it, guys. Like, that's kind of ridiculous. God he puts you into that fire and shows you yourself, and shows you that you shouldn't be doing this, so we're gonna speed this process up a bit. You know what I mean? And then you kind of transcend it. Usually I feel like Anybody who does retention, I think it takes a solid 10 years. Solid 10 years, guys, before you fully break free from it. I would easily say put that on just the plate, right? If you've been doing it for 10 years, right? Most guys do it for 10 years. They start when they're like 14 or 15, right? It's going to take you 10 solid years, most likely, to fully stop everything, you know? That's just what it is. Some guys, they say, oh, I did it in like 2 or 3 years. Maybe they did it faster than you guys because they weren't as like addicted to the content, right? So you have to understand, like, everybody has different levels. Like, everybody has a different tolerance, like what I was talking about, guys. Like, some people can handle it more and can break free from it easier. Just remember, it takes time. Give yourself grace. Peace out, guys.